Hello, subscribers to Bernando Apollo's YouTube channel. This is his granddaughter, and I just want to let you know that the video that you're about to see was recorded from a live stream conversation that I had with Kufunya, an event organizer, in 2018. We're talking about Bernardo Apollo, obviously, but I just want to let you know that because our connection wasn't the best, we were talking over a span of thousands of miles. It's a little bit shaky. It's not the clearest video. So, with that being said, please enjoy this other testimonial from someone who had the chance to interact with Bernando when he was already well over 100 years old. Thank you very much for being a subscriber here and supporting Bernando Apollo's legacy, and of course, most of all, keeping your liver and your colon clean and taking care of your health. Thank you. So I wanted to give everyone a little background on how I met Kufunya, who's an awesome person, very patient, very kind. We met in New York City because Kufunya at the time was working at a wonderful bookshop and store that some of you may be familiar with. That was called East West Books, that had been there for decades, and that was located on Fifth Avenue between 14th and 13th Streets in what's considered to be Greenwich Village. And Kufunya was there specifically in the crystal department. As it happened, I happened to have a record out, which is sort of in line and was kind of the cup of tea at this particular store. So somehow or another, we ended up getting into a conversation. As I learned about Kufunya, she's someone who's very, very involved with the community. She's based in Brooklyn. At the time, does a lot of things there, does a lot of events at another locale called Nicholas Brooklyn. Do things like community acupuncture, teaching people how to work with their energy and, diet, and a very positive force, a very, very positive force in the community. What impression did you have of Bernando when you first met him? You had seen the book and you'd seen some photos, so you probably thought, well, he looks pretty good. But when you actually met him in person, did it live up to the hype?
Well, oh man, Bernardo is an amazing bee. I was like 100 and what? And he don't even look past 65, if there's any such a look, how a person's supposed to particularly look at a certain age. But I was very, very impressed with him, straight away. My impression was, wow, these are possibilities that we can achieve. You know what I mean? And I when I first, I just wanted to hug him, and give him my blessings, because we get this notion, particularly in the Western society, that after you pass an age of 50, you're supposed to sit down and wait for your next realm, waiting to go to your next realm. You know, but Bernardo programmed his brain. His brain was programmed from an early age through his father. That I read, who hails from Brazil, was a herbalist and taught him many different things. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun or anything like that, but there's different beings, I think, that come into your life for a reason. And I think Bernando, well, I don't think, I know Bernando, through your vehicle, through your, introduction, allowed me to meet such a person as Bernando.
You met him, he would have been about 109.
Yeah, it was 109, and we did it in an apartment in Brooklyn on Eastern Parkway, and that place was packed to the rafters with so much respect and reverence for this elder. Now, this is who you can call an elder, okay? He's beyond 100. He has all of his faculties together, and he's not bending over and decrepit, because he has he programmed his mind for something different, which people should understand, that you can program your mind, because your mind is a brain computer. And obviously this is what he's done, and it's not just one thing, but my impression was like beyond infinity. I said, oh my goodness, this is like, what, for real, 109? And everybody was like, every word, the first event, every word he spoke about, they were like, they
Hanging on every word.
hanging on every single word.
Mm-hmm.
And for people ages, I think 7 to 75 or more.
Yeah, I think I remember there being a gentleman in there who was about 75.
And yep, and he learned so much. And if you see him, he doesn't even look 75 years young. And we cooked for him. He was a king in our kingdom. He was treated royally, and everybody wanted to serve him.
Great event. He was very, very touched by that. He was very surprised by that. I think that's pretty much the first time, and that thing, that such a nice event, and sort of such a nice kind of a ceremony. Was there anything that you decided to change or adjust, or was there any tip, or hack or insight that perhaps contributed to your daily routine or weekly routine upon meeting him, and reading what he had to say?
Well, basically what he did was he enhanced what I was already doing, so to speak. And yes, habits are very hard to break if you don't control, if you're not the captain of your ship. And I'm learning you know, I have some habits that I'm working on myself, you know, uh, and what I find with meeting Bernardo is that there's not just one thing that he does. You know, what I incorporated in my life from him is his, you know, being a whole person. So yes, I have, because the type of work that I do, like if I'm working on a project, sometimes I'm up until very wee hours in the morning. My mom used to call me a night owl, and I'm still a night owl. But
Mm-hmm.
what I find with myself and being around Bernardo is going to bed a little bit earlier is helpful, and that I do not beat up on myself if I get to bed a little bit later than I should. I'm working on that's an ongoing process for me. Increasing water intake, um, eating more fruits and vegetables, and understanding that, let's say if I wanted to dive into like eating lamb once a year, I just might try that, just based on what Bernardo's reasonings are about it.
If it's all right, I just wanted to interject something.
Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
just for people's understanding, because I knew my grandfather pretty well. Um, I want to let people know why he ate lamb once a year.
Yeah,
It's
I need.
not
Yeah.
it's not really a dietary um, thing with him. My grandfather was raised as a Catholic. In Brazil, there were lots of different people that immigrated from all over the place, from Italy, from Germany, around the 1820s. My my grandfather's father's father, okay,
Right.
went to Brazil, married an indigenous woman, had a son. That would be Bernando Lapalo Sr. He is the person who raised Bernando. This eating of lamb once a year, that is a Catholic ritual.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a Catholic thing. It's really got nothing to do with, quote, being healthy or diet. So I want to
The
make that
ritual.
clear. Well, because it occurred around Easter. This is something that fell more into um, more of a family ritual, you
Yes.
see, around Easter.
Drinking more teas, right? Uh, communing with spirit more because he's a very spiritual person, and just his overall presence will make you, will move you into wanting to learn more about this thing that they call longevity, which many moons ago people were living up to 120, 200, You know, there's an island off the coast of Costa Rica where people are over 100, and that population is increasing. I saw that on PBS. And
Right.
yeah, perhaps it would be a good thing if we could get Bernardo's, past interviews and whatnot to PBS. I think that would be a great thing to do. But for me, Bernardo is everything. I have incorporated. The only thing I didn't cooperate with Bernardo is getting up at 5 a.m. and going for the walks. But I'm going to try. I'm going to attempt that. I notice, like, when I'm eating certain foods, I watch my reaction from my stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and I take my cue from that. Like the fast food for me might be a tangerine, an apple, a banana with with the speckles on it. I just grab and go. Because I look at the body as a vehicle,
Yeah.
organic, right? That when something is like a car, you see the oil indicator or the gas indicator, or it might be squeaking brakes or something like that. Or the windshield wipers might not be working. You know what I mean? Or the brake light.
Yes.
So it's the same thing as the body. You have to look at your temple, your vehicle, like that. And I said, yeah, this is really true. You really have to look at your vehicle like a mechanical instrument, but it's organic. And if I'm gonna eat ice cream, right, which I love, and sometimes I make my own ice cream. You can make it, But if you're gonna eat it, you might as well eat the best ice cream that's on the
Bernardo
market.
would have ice cream every now and then. He would have
Yes.
he
Now and
liked green tea ice cream. He was fond of green tea
yes,
ice cream,
yes, I like
vanilla
that.
ice cream, Sure.
Yeah. So that's where that 20% comes in. Like I said, it's not just one thing. It's not just the eating. Bernardo was very, very spiritual. And that's what I loved about him. The spiritual aspect of Bernardo. By
Mm-hmm.
giving thanks, by talking to his spirit and following his spirit or his intuition. The man, he just has to stand in the room and you feel the presence of the Almighty within him. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what you know gets me. That got me with Bernardo. That every time I saw him, I wanted to hug him. Every time.
The event that you organized again at Nicholas Brooklyn
Yeah.
2013. So that was about 2 months shy of Bernardo's 112th birthday.
All right.
Born on August 17th, and you had that event, hosted that event on June 3rd of 2013. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about that, and maybe just some feedback from the community, the attendees, how they felt about it.
if Bernando was here today, which he is, but in another form, people will still come out to see him because that's the kind of impact that he had, with people. So happy to be in his presence.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the community responded to. He also talked about the meals that he prepares as well. And we had a birthday cake for him too.
I remember that
we,
cake
had
now.
vegan,
Yeah.
we had a vegan birthday cake for Bernando, and everybody loved it, including him.
Yeah.
So the people, sometimes, Ekayani, when you describe something, some things are indescribable. And
Mm-hmm.
that you would have to be there to experience it. And I don't know if people, if they're feeling it, fine. Perhaps they can feel it through the photos. Perhaps they can feel it through the various radio interviews that I'm going to get to you that he was on. Because part of the promotion was to have him on the radio shows, and which he was very, very happy to be a part of. And I know in the Arizona community and the college campuses that he would visit, they would be just like, OMG. So he is a catalyst for me for longevity, that the possibilities are there and it's not just one thing. That's what I want to get across to people. And that's what he gets across to people too. It's the spirituality aspect. It's the people that you're around that either feed you positively or negatively. It's that good word. It's the blessing or the bliss over the food. Because everything, like one of my friends said, his name is Seth, he said, everything we do is a ritual. Everything. So when you're in that kitchen, I love the videos that he shows making his fruit salad, and when he came to the events, we made sure that we had what he needed. And he was just like, he's somebody that you cannot forget. He's etched in my heart. That man right there, Bernando. He's not easy, boy, I tell you, and he can dance. What I loved about him is that he decided to write a book, his first book, when he was over 100 years young. And you know what made me think? That it's never too late to follow your dream.
I thank you, Kufunya, for being here.
So thank you so much, everybody. And I look forward to being part of this discussion once again.